My first impression of Greg was, dang, that boy's attractive.
She was beautiful. In all honesty, she was beautiful, kind, loving person. We met 3 years ago at a movie night.
So I was in my apartment with my roommates and we were watching a movie and knock on the door and my roommate opens it and then Greg walks in and I was like, wow, you're a tall, dark, and handsome beauty.
I just kind of went up and said, this is kind of the feeling I'm having. I feel something between us and I'd like to see where that goes.
And then he asked me out for that Friday and it was the longest 2 days of my life to wait for that. I didn't realize I was falling in love with him until honestly he told me he loved me. It wasn't super long into our relationship, it was about 2 weeks after we started dating.
I knew I was falling in love with her from the very night I met her. It was a rough 2 weeks.
Little by little it just kept growing because he wouldn't leave. Suddenly was like, I've only dated one guy, I don't know anything about any other guys, maybe I should just go home and break it off. I ended up getting home and breaking up with him because I was like, I don't know what I want. He was respectful, but didn't go anywhere. And again, we did it for about 4 months. And then we broke up in like, I don't know, August of 2016 for the second time.
Like I said, I knew from the night that I met her I was falling in love with her, and I was willing to wait for what I wanted.
I made a plan the end of August that I was gonna live every single day without any fears. I'm gonna just basically treat myself as if I decided to marry him already. Like, he's such a good guy. I kept it from Greg for about a week, and then I just couldn't anymore. The day after I told him he could talk to my dad, he had talked to my dad the next morning.
So earlier that day, we went to a bad Hawaiian shirt contest with like the steak leaders and their wives. And so obviously not wanting to propose in a Hawaiian t-shirt, I made sure I had something in the truck to change into, and she thought it was weird that I changed out. But eventually we went to the place that I said that I loved her for the first time, and we started to walk up the hill to get up to the top.
And like progressively he's standing next to me, and then he starts walking behind me holding my hand, and then he drops my hand and starts touching my back to help me up, and then he stops touching me entirely, and I'm walking up this hill like, oh, he's gonna propose, he's gonna propose, but I get so lost in the fact that he's proposing that I just keep walking. And next thing I know, I just heard, Janelle! I turn around and he's on a knee, but he's like 10 feet down the hill.
But finally, she had to kind of run back down the hill, and she was wearing flip-flops and nearly wiped out. To this day, she won't admit it, but she never actually said yes initially. And so I said, will you marry me? And she put the ring on and gave me a kiss, and eventually I was like, I assume that means yes. And she's like, yes, yes. I actually made a wood ring in the wood shop as a placeholder.
And he proposed to me with the wooden ring that he had carried around for 4 months. And then we just danced in the middle of the park. But I just remember going to bed that night and just feeling like finally at ease of a choice that I had made. The most important factor of keeping love alive is the one thing I noticed from him from the beginning is communication. You have to talk about things, but at the same time, you also gotta keep light of life. We laugh all the time, and we feel bad for our neighbors because we laugh at like 2 a.m. in the middle of the night. We'll just be like laughing hysterically, but it's so fun living with your best friend.
It's doing the little things and doing the little things over and over and over without ever tiring of it. You may not ever get a thank you, it may not ever be recognized, but the little acts of service throughout the day.
I mean, I knew a little bit when we dated that Greg was a nerd, but he's a hardcore nerd. Like, he is the cutest little person who'll come home and just be like, I've had a really hard day. Can I just play the Xbox for just a little bit? You're the cutest.
I never realized how messy she was. But again, it's doing the little things, picking up, cleaning the house with her, that it keeps things fun.
So I'm messier in the bedroom. He's messier in the bathroom. How do men not realize that it's just disgusting? I think something that everyone should know about Greg, he loves you almost instantly. He has such a huge heart.
She'll always forgive. No matter what, she tries to be the bigger person, and I love that about her. I know that I don't deserve her, but I'm going to work every day to make sure that maybe one day I qualify.